Hello everybody, this is Dana with the Freedom Please channel and essenceofme.com. I'm coming to you all today because I'm super excited. I have been saying that I've been asking you all and trying to decide if I was going to do a tutorial, and today I have recorded not one, but two tutorials for you. So this is the introduction for the first of those tutorials. Today's tutorial is for a knit headband, and it is very easy. I would even venture to say that you can do this and be a new knitter or have never knitted before. I take you from cast on to completion, and so I think this will be a really fun tutorial to do. Not only that, it is a great summer accessory that you can have, and it is something that you can do as an adult or you can do it with your children. It's really pretty, I would say, easy, but people that think knitting, they don't always think easy until they get the hang of it. So today's tutorial is a knit headband. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, put them in the comment section below. I look forward to interacting with you regarding this video, and I will be back at the end after everything is said and done. If you see this tutorial and you love it, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. And if you have any suggestions for tutorials, let me know in the comment section. Let's go ahead and get this party started. See you in a bit. Sit back and get ready to just have a girl chat video. Let's get this party started. Kind of feel like Pink, but not really. Let's go. See you in a bit. For this tutorial, the supplies that you're going to need are the basics. I use a size US 9 knitting needles. I used this Clover 16-inch cable knitting needles. It's their bamboo ones, but you do not have to use this type. But I do. I use a size 9. Now, if you are a new knitter, and I believe this tutorial that you can do this one. You can do this tutorial, but I would not recommend nor suggest that you use this particular type because they're a little harder to handle if you're new. If you have anything, it can be some straights. This is what I would recommend. I always recommend bamboo needles for new knitters because it just kind of holds on to the yarn a little bit for you. And so anyways, you need the needles, and it does not have to be a 9. It can be anything that's complementary to the yarn that you're using. And the yarn that I use is a worsted weight yarn, and it's actually, this is all that I have left of it, but I'm going to show you the label. Oh, here it is. Okay. It's the Barocco Comfort, but I'm going to show you so that you know how to pick a worsted weight yarn. Again, towards the end, I'll show you how to make to adapt this pattern a little bit if you have something different. But here's a label. And do you see here where you see that 4? That lets you know that this is a medium weight, which is a worsted weight. The way that you can tell what is a complementary needle for your yarn is to look here, and I'm going to point to them. Here, this one is actually can be a US 9 or a US 8. And you see how it looks like little knitting needles? That lets you know that that's for knitting. And over here is for crochet because it has a hook. Do you see that? So that's how you can read your label. Here's one, and I'll show you another one, which is also worsted weight, but it's for red heart. And again, here, see the 4, and it also has the sizing on the needle as well as a hook. And so that is how you will know what hook or needle size that you are that they recommend. You can use any one, but that's what they recommend. So for the knit, you will need a size 9 if you're going to do exactly as I do. And for the crochet, I used a size an I, which is a 9 or a 5.5 millimeter hook, which is my favorite size. And so that is the size that I use for the crochet tutorial. Again, you can use any size that complements your yarn, okay? But if you want to just stick to the basics, stick to the basics. You can use, I use this Barocco Comfort, but you can use any worsted weight. You could use that Red Heart or Karen or whatever you have in your stash. That'll be great. Also, you will need a tapestry needle. Sometimes they're plastic, sometimes they look like this, but you'll need a tapestry needle. You will also need scissors. And you need some way to measure, and let me get my measuring tape You'll need a measuring tape to measure the distance as you go along. If you do not have a measuring tape, you can also knit it or crochet it and just measure it across your head, because we'll make a headband that shows from the front. Lastly, you will need elastic, like these little elastic bands. And in the video, I do show you alternatives to these. For my headbands, only used 2, but for another one, I used 3. And I tell you, how to do these and how to use these for the video tutorial. So let's get started. And depending on which tutorial you're watching, you're either going to see the crochet or the knit version of a headband. When you're working with yarn, this is coming straight from your skein or from your ball of yarn. And you have what's considered your working end, which is the end that you're working from that is coming from the skein. And you usually have what is called the tail, which is the end. What we're going to do here is we're going to hold the yarn and we're going to fold it. And I'm just going to show you the easy way, the way I show little ones. And usually most people can do a slip knot, and if not, this is how I show them. You want to fold it. You want to twist it. And see, and it makes this X. And then what you want to do is grab your fingers between the opening. I use my index finger and my thumb, and I grab the working end of the yarn, and I pick it up, and you just hold it and pull your ends until a knot is formed. And there you have a slip knot. The reason why it's called a slip knot is because you can loosen it and tighten it. Look, if I pull on my working yarn and the loop, it'll get smaller. If I pull on my tail, it'll get larger. So all you want to do now is pull on the working end, holding onto your loop so that it will not close. And actually, look what it'll do. If you pull it completely, it will go away. Okay? So here we go again. We're going to fold it, twist, grab between your index and your thumb, pick up your working yarn. Oh wait, of course it won't look. I'm going to show you that again. You want to fold it, twist, and the way you want to twist it is twist it away from your body, so that when you grab your working yarn, it will actually cause it to make the slip knot. So here we have a slip knot, and now you're ready to begin adding your yarn to either your hook or your needle. For this tutorial, I'm going to show you how to cast on for 2 methods. One is a method that's used a lot, which is the long tail cast on. The second one is going to be an E cast on, which I think is a little easier for new knitters. So for the long tail cast on, we need to create our slip knot. Now for your slip knot, you want it you want to make sure that your tail is at least enough to cover the number of stitches that you need to make. And for the knit headband, we need 16 stitches. no, I'm sorry, we need 10 stitches. And so what you want to do is measure I measure the tip to my shoulder. So you want it just about 2 feet long. And I'm going to just roughly estimate it. And then from this place is where we want to create our slip knot. You want to twist towards you. Grab your working yarn. And one of the things you want to be very careful of. Oh, and I'm sorry, I'm looking through the viewfinder. What you want to be careful of is when you want to line up and make sure they're not twisted, and you want to add your slip knot onto your needle. You want to tighten it a little, not too tight. And you want to hold your yarn as if it's a triangle. The needle being at your point, you have your index finger and you have your thumb, and you want the yarn to go over each of those fingers, and then you anchor it underneath your pinky. So it's like this. See that? I'm going to kind of, let's see if I can go back a little further. It's hard. Now you're going to see a lot of my stuff here, but I got to, so you can see a wider view. And you want to hold, now once you have it like this, you want to turn your fingers up till they're facing the ceiling. And you still have that triangle shape happening. Now what's going to happen for the long tail cast on is you're going to take your needle and you're going to go under the yarn that's in front of your thumb. Go under. And then you're going to go over the yarn in front of your index finger and pull it through the opening that you created. And then you're going to tighten. I'm going to do that again. Under, over, pull through. You don't want these too tight. Under, over, pull through. To begin, we need a 6-inch tail. And create your slip knot as I showed you before. Now if you know another way, just use the way that it's most comfortable for you. Add the slip knot onto your needle and tighten it, but you don't want it too tight. You want to have a little slack here. What we're going to do for this project is the cast-on method. You want to make sure that you're working with the yarn that is coming from your skein of yarn or from your ball of yarn. So what I want you to do is take your tail and move it to the other side so you don't get confused. Now what you want to do here is you want to wrap the yarn. You want to hold the working yarn from the needle, and you want to bring your finger under. You see that? Take your thumb, you're going to go under the yarn until it curves up onto your thumb, and you want to take your needle and slide it underneath and pull it onto the needle. You're going to run your finger back from back to front, slide your needle underneath, and slide it onto your needle. Now another way to do this I always think about is the twist that you see in the breast Cancer Awareness ribbon, where it's just a twist like an X, and then you can slide that onto the needle and just pull it. You want it so that the working yarn is behind your cast on that you put onto your needle. You see it here? It's behind it. So it's actually, the working yarn is between the cast on stitch that we just did and the one that we did before. And you need to do this 8 times. This is 5, 6, 7, 8. And now we're ready to begin. Now it's time to begin our first stitches. What you want to do is turn your work so that your working yarn is to your right. Make sure that you pull that tail out of the way so that you do not get it confused. So I'm going to pull mine over here. And you want to grab your other needle. Now for this, you want to be careful because since when we do the cast on, the stitches are a little bit loose, but they will work just fine, okay? Now what you want to do is take your other needle and you want to enter the stitch from the front to the back, working in until, front to back until you form a little X with your needles. You see that? And then you want to bring your yarn up and over the back needle and you want to pull that stitch through to the front. And then you want to allow it to stay on your right needle and slide the stitch now on your left needle off. And you've created your first stitch. And give it a little pull, just a little. Let's do it again. Front to back, up and over, and pull that stitch forward. Slide stitch off the back needle. It's 2. Front to back, up and over, and off. Now I'm going to show you a little bit closer. Front to back, up and over, bring it forward, and take it off the back needle. Now if you notice, I kind of use my fingers to help me a little bit here. You go front to back and make sure it kind of is to the end. I use my index finger to kind of hold the stitches in place here on my left hand. I take my right, I insert it front to back, and then I anchor it with my thumb and my index finger on my right hand just to stabilize it. I take the yarn and bring it up and over, and as I bring it forward, I use my thumb to hold it in place as I slide the stitch on that back needle off. I'm going to do it a couple more times because we're almost at the end. Up and over. And there's many methods for knitting. This is just how I do it. Until we get to the end. And once you're at the end, all of your stitches should now be on your right needle. You're going to turn your work and you're going to begin the same process again, adding the needle back into your right hand, insert front to back, up and over, pull it forward, slide it off, front to back, up and over, pull it forward, slide it off, front to back, up and over, slide it forward, slide it off. Now when you do this, once you get to your second row, it's actually going to be a little bit easier. The first row is just your foundation and you've got to get that going. I'm going to do a few more. Now once you get to the end, you're going to continue doing this until your headband reaches your desired length. If you're not certain how long you want your headband to be, a rough calculation that I use is measure your head where you want your headband to fall and subtract 10. So for example, my head is 21 inches. I subtracted 10. That gave me I subtracted 10. That gave me 11. And I decided to round up so that it was an even number. So I did all of my headbands at 12 inches. And keep going until you reach the desired length. And in the next clip, I will show you how to bind off your stitches. Okay, so here is the knit. I'm all done, and I'm going to just measure this. I'm going to try to get... I guess I could go to another angle, but it's better from this one. So I'm just going to measure it roughly. I'm at about... When I measure it, I don't actually include the cord and all of that. So I just go right beneath it and I place my measuring tape there. I don't pull it, even though it has a stretchiness to it. So I'm a little bit past 12 inches, at almost like 12 and a half. So now what we're going to do is we're going to bind off, and I'm going to do that on camera for you. So to bind off, you're going to knit the first stitch like normal. This is actually really bright. I'm trying to see if I can bring a little, there we go. So knit one, then you'll knit one more stitch. So you'll knit 2 total. Then you'll do what I call the bunny hop. You will hop the first stitch over the second and off the needle. Uh-oh. Okay, now I gotta do it again. I'm gonna leave that in too, because it happens. Sometimes that's one of the downsides of knitting with these smaller circular needles, is that the needle is small, so it causes it to slip and slide everywhere, and that leaves you with one stitch on your right needle. So you'll knit another stitch, do the bunny hop, yes I am, knit a stitch, do the bunny hop. I'll bring it in a little closer, and you don't want to pull it too tight, but in this case it actually is a little bit helpful. So I'm going to pull it in a little bit. I'm going to knit and bunny hop. Now this is the way actually I normally bind off, and I'm going to show you all, is I do it with a crochet hook. So what I do is I knit a stitch, pull it up, and then I slip it off, which is technically like a chain stitch. Knit a stitch, and you got to be careful because this one is really large. Usually I try to pick a smaller needle, but I'm not, a smaller hook, but I'm not concerned with that. And you're going to, whether you just decide to do it with a crochet hook or with your needles, go until you are left with one stitch on your needle or your hook. Go. And I have one left. And now that I have one, I always pull it through and pull it one more time so that it'll make a natural knot. I'm going to pull it quite a bit because we're going to need it to sew this together. I'm going to pull the yarn away and pull this tight. And now we are finished with binding off. And now we have 2 ends to work with. So now what I'm going to do is show you how we're going to turn this into a headband. Okay, I'm sorry for the blurriness of this, but I'm going to show you these hair ties. This is one that I purchased from the dollar store. I don't really prefer these because they kind of are small and they give out. You see, it doesn't have a lot of elasticity like the ones I prefer, which are a tad bit bigger. Here are some more, which are more like ponytail scrunchies, and I don't use these either because even though it looks like it's really has a lot of kickback, it doesn't, and they actually die out pretty fast. Lastly, this is more of a headband. It's an ouchless slip-free headband, and you can use this, but make sure you make an adjustment on the length of your headband if you decide to use this. Lastly, these are the ones that I'm going to use. I purchased these from Forever 21 for about $2, and there was a bunch of them in the package. For my headband, I actually used 2, although for some I used 3, and these are the ones I'm going to use for the rest of the tutorial. So this is the way that you interlock your headband, your little scrunchies. You want to wrap it, put the left one behind, the left one in front of the right, and then you want to grab the. So basically, what you're going to do is wrap the one in your right hand around the one on your left. So see, it's folded and it's wrapped, and you hold those two together. So you have this one just normal, this one is wrapped around. Then what you want to do is take one side and pull it through the other. And once you do that, see, I just pulled it through, and once you do that, you just want to pull it through until it creates this little knot. You see that? I'll show you that again. Take the one on your left, put it in the front of the one on your right. You want the one on your right to wrap around the one on your left until you have it folded. And then you want to take one side and pull it through the other and give it a little tug. And there you go. Now you need to combine as many as you need. On my other one, I actually combined 3, and I'll show you. I combined 3, but remember, the more you combine, the more stretch it's going to have, and it's going to pull your headband a little tighter, okay? So for this one, I'm going to just do 2 for me because I'm going to wear these. So let's go ahead and I'll show you how to attach this to your headband. For this portion, you're going to need scissors, you're going to need your tapestry needle, you're going to need your elastic bands, and you're going to need your headband. And what we're going to do is start by adding the string, your tail to your tapestry needle. And just leave it hanging enough for you to grip so you don't lose it. And here is the end that we're working with. Now what you're going to do is you're going to take the headband and put it through your scrunchie and fold it over and encase it. Now here's the thing, when you do it this way, you don't want to fold it over too far unless you made your headband too small. The more that you fold it over, the more you lose in width for your headband. So I'm going to just fold mine over slightly. And I need to kind of reorient myself because I'm looking through the camera. And I'm going to turn it this way, okay? So it's folded over, just kind of like a taco. Like this is me, this is the shell. And so here we go. You have your tapestry needle, and now all you want to do is sew it down. And just honestly, however you can get it down. I actually do this way. I take my needle through one of the humps here, and then I go through one of the humps that's a part of the headband there, and I pull it through and give it a little tug, and you won't even see it, and just go across. I'm going to do a couple more. I'll back up a little. Now, when I get to the end, I may do it maybe 1 or 2 more times towards this end. And I'm losing it. See, I lost it. So I'm going to reattach it. Now, the way that you end this, honestly, is totally up to you. You can put a little knot. You can go back and re-secure it a little bit more. That's up to you. But what I do is I go through a couple more times. So this is my second time. Then what I do is I come back up towards the top. And then what I do is I split my yarn the best way that I can. Now, this is just my method. I don't know if this is acceptable or not. I just split the yarn like this. And I put a little bitty knot. And I gave it a tug. Let me angle this a little bit better. There we go. And then I tie it again. And I do this 3 times. And get it really, really kind of, once you do the first one, the second one you can give it a nice good tug without it causing too much tension on your yarn. So I do it 3 times. And once I've done it that 3rd time, I can go in and I can snip it as close as I want without losing it. Let me back up now. And you want to make sure that you don't snip your knot. And then look, when you're done, it's all in there. And then what I usually do is I kind of give my piece a little tug a little bit, and usually it will just eat that knot right on up. And there you have it. All you need to do now is do the same thing to your other side. Make sure that when you do this that you lie your headband flat so it's not twisted. And then you want to go around to the other side. And actually I like it. Well, let me turn it this way. And put it through. And sew it down once again until you finish. And I will come back once my headband is complete. I'm going to actually do this one, just a little bit of it for you. Let's say, for example, you did not leave enough tail, especially sometimes when you do a long tail cast on and you don't know how to gauge it. I actually won't even start with this because I know it's not enough. And what I'll do is actually cut me a fresh piece of yarn from my skein. So let's go ahead and get some more, if I can find the end. I did. And I'm going to just cut me a nice size piece, maybe about 2 feet. It's about 2 feet, and it's going to be way more than I need. It's probably going to get in my way, but I'll go ahead and I'll add this onto my tapestry needle. And what I'll do is now you can just knot it onto this one, but I don't do that. I actually will start on the opposite end of where my tail is currently located. And again, I don't want to eat up too much of mine. And I will bring this up through. And I'll leave just a little bit here. I gotta make sure I catch all of it because I don't want to think I have it and I don't. Then I will just kind of hold this like this because I can take care of that later. Make sure you have enough to kind of work with that too. And I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to turn it this way, and I'm going to keep going, and I'm going to come back once I reach the end and show you what I do with these 2 little ends. Okay, so I'm at the end here. I'm going to take one more stitch or so. Actually, I'm just going to do one more because I'm going to do the same knot like I did on the other end, but I'm going to include my original tail. So let's go ahead and I'm going to cut this. And feel free to ask me any questions in the comment section about this. I split my, I guess, supplies. I think that's what it's called, but I split these as much as I can. I try to do it half. Now I do the same thing to the original, and I'm going to cut this down as well because it just makes it easier to work with. Now, you know, this is a headband, and the good thing about it is this won't make it too, the knot won't be so big that it's irritating or anything like that. But Okay, so I have both pieces split in half, and I actually tie one of the original to the one of the new ones. So I kind of cross tie it basically. I tie it once. Let me bring it in just a little bit. So I can, there we go. And then I'm going to tie it again. That's 2. And that second one, you see I gave it a nice strong tug. And then 3. And I snip it. And now I do the same with the other 2. Now, honestly, you probably wouldn't even need to do this. That's the good thing about taking the cross. But I'm going to do it anyway. It won't hurt anything. And there's 2. And this is the last one. And I'm going to snip this as well. Now this is going to leave us. Now once it's all in there, you kind of give it a little tug and it's gone. And the good thing is it's like it's a little cushion, so it's not a big deal. And on this other side, we have this last one left. And I'm going to add it back to my tapestry needle. And if you've already done this, you can always end the video here. But I'm just going to show you all exactly what I would do as I'm working. I'm going to add it back to my tapestry needle. And I'm going to grab this little corner just to kind of bring it all in and make it nice and neat. I'm going to grab it one more time. Let's see, I got that end. See how it's really nice? It's all curved in. And I will go in just a little bit. Now, another thing that you could do with this piece, quite honestly, is you can take the piece and go into the in between, in between the front and the back. You can't see it, and you can just pull it through, pull your yarn through, let it go, and hide it in the middle. I don't want to do that, and the reason why is because these bands are probably going to last you a really long time. But if it goes out, you can always just re-thread something in there to replace these and still have a functioning headband. So I want to just make sure that I just knot it like I did the other one. I'm going to go through, I've already gone through, I'm going to cut it down and I'm going to go ahead and do my knots. And I'm going to go ahead and do that because I've already showed you that. And I will come back with my finished pieces. I'll see you in a bit. Okay, see, I told you that was really fairly easy. I think you can do this whether you are a seasoned knitter or a new knitter, and I hope that this tutorial was helpful to help you complete the project, but also get those basic skills: casting on, binding off, even just how to weave in your ends. All of those things were a part of this tutorial, so I hope that you enjoyed it. And so when you are all done and complete, I have actually 3 different headbands that I'm going to show you, and I also have a few tips on how you can make this project your own. So let me just show you the completed project. This is the one that was made in the video. This was done according to the cast on that was showed in this video and the needles that I shared with you. But the wonderful thing about this tutorial is you can make it your own by just increasing the number of stitches that you cast on and also changing your needle size. So here's the one that I did in the tutorial. And I'm going to show you another one where I did a smaller needle size, but I cast on more stitches. Another thing that you can do is, as I showed you in the video, you can change your elastic ties. You can even not use an elastic tie and just do a complete headband. Okay, so that's all up to you. Now for this particular headband, it was done with a size 6 needle, and it was with casting on twice as many stitches. And so I still did it the same length. It took a little bit longer because the stitches were smaller, but all in all, when it's said and done, this was the difference that it made. Now, Other than changing your needle size, you can also play with this pattern using different types of yarn. I used an acrylic yarn. It's an acrylic nylon blend, but you can use acrylic, you can use wool, you can even use bulky, you can use a fingering, but make sure you adjust your needle size to accomplish the look that you want with your yarn. Lastly, you can not choose not to do it with a garter stitch. You can do this with the stockinette stitch, which means on your right side you knit, on your wrong side you purl. You can also just pull out your stitch dictionary and select the stitch and try it out. Now, one of the things that I want to give as a heads up is when you choose a different stitch, you want to make sure that it kind of will give you a little bit of flexibility, and because when you wear it as a headband, it's going to pull and it's going to stretch. If you decide to do something like a lace or something of that nature, you may want to play around with the number of elastics that you use. You may want to use more so that the actual knitted headband can just lay flat on your head, and then across the back you have your elastic headbands. And that will be a great time to use like one of the goodies ouchless headbands instead of these little scrunchies, so that it can just lay flat across the back. You also could even just sew in elastic if you wanted to. So again, this is very, very flexible. Make it your own. And if you decide to use this tutorial to make a headband or two or many, don't forget to let me know by visiting me on Facebook. You can find me at Essence of Me. You can also find me on Instagram, and my handle is Dana Pittman Online. I look forward to bringing you back more tutorials. I hope you enjoyed this, and I will see you all hopefully sooner than later. Take care and goodbye.